for NC State, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. So keep an eye on #1 in that backcourt with Smith. Jarkel Joyner for Kevin Keats. Joyner had 26 points at Miami in December to lead the way for the Pack in a losing effort. Here we go with round 2, NC State and Miami.
And Tom, one guy we didn't touch on in the open, Jordan Miller for Miami, had a massive game. First go around, 25 points for him. A lot of great matchups today.
Joyner is the second leading scorer on the team, just over 16 points per game. He's #1. Smith with the ball, 0. Shot clock is down to 7. Lets it go. Long rebounded Joyner. So quick, and that one got blocked. Poplar came out of nowhere to deflect it away.
Wow, great reaction time, and Poplar is one of their better defenders. Watch the help side come in quickly. Really close to a goaltending.
Full court pressure from NC State to start.
And you know what? It's not a bad idea, especially with a noon start time. Maybe get everybody revved up, get into the game.
How you feel about those noon start times, Mike? O'Meara to the rim. Too strong.
As a broadcaster, I love him. Player, not so much. Just a little too early for me.
A little bit of time to warm up the engine, and that's 2 inside for NC State and Dewana.
Well, you got 2 guys out there, Dewana and Gant, who aren't big scorers, but you can't not pay attention to them off the pick and roll. He had an easy dunk.
There'll be a foul on the play.
Well, one matchup to look at, I was curious to see how Jordan Miller has started off on Greg Gant, #23. Miller, watch him defensively. He roams a little bit out in the paint.
Miami coming off the win Wednesday at home against Boston College as Pack goes back to grab it.
I'll tell you what, Pack Joyner is not a bad matchup to zero in on either.
Inside, O'Meara and Dewana, and it's O'Meara winning the fight.
Dewana's taller, but O'Meara has got the size. He was able to get underneath Dewana that time, get a body on him. Dewana's a shot blocker. You want to try to keep contact.
O'Meara, the sophomore and transfer from Arkansas State, goes 6'7", 248 pounds from Nicaragua. Smith came up short and hit the deck. This is Isaiah Wong, one of the more flashy players in the ACC, hanging and scoring as the defender went on by.
Well, not only beating his primary defender, but seeing where the help was coming from, too. And you talked about hanging. That split second allowed him to get the basket.
Talk about a consistent scorer for Miami. 58 of his last 69 games to double digits for Wong. Gant backing it on in, too strong, O'Meara.
Now, when he does in that situation, he had a clear out. They will not come and double team him.
Wong for 3, and he knocks it down.
This is going to be a treat today, watching these 2 backcourts go at it.
Quick 5 points for Isaiah Wong, and the Canes are 3 of 4 from the floor. A little bit of a struggle so far in the first half for NC State. Joyner, another miss, and Poplar elevates.
And watch the Miami big guys on those screen rolls. They're going to stay with the shooter an extra count.
Miller had it bounce off, out of bounds, and that is Pack basketball. Jordan Miller, to see him miss, Mike, is actually sort of a rarity. He leads Miami in the history of its program in field goal shooting, close to 55%.
Yeah, 53 this year, so really efficient. Well, you know what? It's just right there shows you that Smith can go with either hand. That way, you know, you want to have him beat you with his weakness. Well, he did on that drive to his left.
The sophomore Terquavion Smith from Greenville, North Carolina, the leading scorer in the ACC, almost 19 points per game.
North Carolina State switching everything out on the perimeter except the big pick.
This is Pack. Pack against the pack and a misfire. Smith on the run. Trying to get away from Miller. Tough shot. Duana comes over the top. Maybe that was a pass intended for Duana, Mike.
Yeah, so far, you know, aside from that easy layup.
Poplar slides down. He trails the play.
Tough pass on the break, although it skipped and stayed low.
50th career game for Smith, trying to create some contact. The crowd wanted it. The officials don't agree.
All afternoon, you're going to see a swarm of the black jerseys around him.
O'Meara, fancy dribble. Just to go back out to Poplar. They'll shoot it and hit it. First two of the game, Wooga Poplar.
And he's a guy, he's going to play the fewest minutes of the starters, but still a key part of what they do, and just about 8 points a game.
Sophomore from Philadelphia, Wooga Poplar. Marcel's been quiet so far in the first half. Transfer from Virginia. Shot clock down to 5. Double on Joyner. Gant with a turnaround. Deflected O'Meara. Poplar races the other way, 2-on-1 with Miller.
Nice job, NC State getting back to cut off the break.
O'Meara had a steam in the paint, and he lost the handle. Smith right down Broadway.
Wow, I mean, you know, it's a size mismatch, but he started with the dribble behind O'Meara and just flew past him. There was nobody back to help.
Smith had 22 points to lead the team. Last Saturday at Virginia Tech, 73-69. O'Meara backing down on Duana. Defended it well, and what a shot falling away. Norchad O'Meara.
Still time on the clock left, and that was about as good defensively as you're going to play him in the post.
O'Meara shoots 61% on the season. That is the best in the ACC, but a lot of times much closer.
Yeah, and that's, I was going to say, that's about his range right there.
He was the player of the year in the Sun Belt Conference a season ago as the shot clock runs down to 4 on Joyner. Trying to shake Miller, and he hits it.
They've got two guards who can create at the end of the shot clock, and Joyner that time, but so far you've seen NC State go deep into the shot clock. Miami doing a decent job playing their screen and roll action.
Joyner went for 21 points and 8 boards on 6 of 13 shooting in the win at Virginia Tech in the most recent game for NC State. Pack, defenders on his hip, has to retreat. O'Meara is determined to get to the glass, and he plays the angle.
Let's see if NC State comes with a different package right now. They have not double teamed him so far. They may have to start.
O'Meara just bullying his way all the way to the rim, and he's got 6 points so far for Miami. He is their leading scorer. Wong right behind him with 5.
And the one thing he can do, Tom, is he can face and put the ball on the floor, which puts a lot of pressure on Duana to defend him.
Smith leads the way for NC State, has the basketball now with 4 points. That hits the side of the backboard. Poplar tried to get it to Miller. It was knocked away to Pack in the corner. Offline. Joyner. Smith. 3 ball.
Little chirp into the bench after that made 3.
And a foul call behind the play on Norchad O'Meara. Correction, Poplar got it. Poplar got it. How about the action inside of PNC? It is time for our keys to the game, brought to you by your local Ford dealer with Mike Jaminski.
We'll focus on defense, Tom. You got the number 2 and 3 scoring teams in the conference in State and Miami. For Miami, they've got to defend in the pick and roll with that backcourt. And for NC State, Kevin Keats was not happy with his defensive effort down at Coral Gables. They've got to defend for 40 minutes.
Kevin Keats' team is 13-4 on the season, 3-3 in conference play, and he hopes he has a group that can take him back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since his first year as the head coach back in 2018 when they went 21-12 and 11-7 in ACC play. Miami made it all the way to the Elite Eight a season ago. Burns is into the game for NC State, number 30 in white. Morcell forces his way inside. And a foul is called against the Canes. Let's step aside for a minute. We'll come right back to Raleigh after this.
About the farther behind the line he is, the less efficient his shooting percentage. You see these first two misses, Tom, a good 3 to 4 feet behind the line. But then the one he makes, he is very, very close. And that could be a little bit of the NBA bleeding in to the guy's thought process on the threes. But certainly there's a correlation between him and getting close to the lane.
Smith on the bench right now. The made three was his 52nd of the season. Mike, he leads the team in that category. 34% from beyond the arc on the year with Morcell at the free throw line.
Keep an eye on DJ Burns is going to be a big part of this game. He's had a terrific game down in Coral Gables, 16 points, 8 rebounds, season high in minutes with 31. His issue has been staying on the court with foul issues, but he's been very productive. Miami coming to double team him early.
Burns, who goes 6'9", 275 from Rock Hill, South Carolina. And a transfer from Winthrop out of the Big South. This is Wong.
And they want to try to involve Burns in the pick and roll. The guy he's guarding will be the screener.
Miller over the top, foul against Miami.
And I think, a couple things for Jim Larinaga, that he's given O'Meara an early rest here in the half, but you put Anthony Walker in the game, maybe save a couple of fouls, against O'Meara, having to guard Burns.
Burns got to double digits at Virginia Tech in the most recent game. Inside, and it'll fall. And the foul. Ernest Ross, NC State.
And all of that happens, Tom, because look how long they stayed with this double team and then out of rotation. Boy, just a nice job of Ross getting in and shaping up.
Morcell with the delivery. Ross with the finish. Wong with the foul. NC State now with its first lead since it led 2-0 to start this game.
And this is a game plan and a coach who's, you got to pick something, and Ross coming in 8 of 15 from the line. But, Jim Larinaga wants to get it out of the hands of the guards on those pick and rolls, so he's going to stay with that.
Bensley Joseph driving and scoring for Miami.
This guy's a closer. He's got a great body. He can really defend. He is their primary. He leads them in scoring, rebounding, and assists off the bench.
Joseph averaging close to 6 points per game and 2.5 rebounds. This is Burns. Halfway down and out as it's spun off the rim.
Now Beverly just ill-advised look ahead that time.
4th turnover for the first half for Jim Larinaga's team. One more win and he'll tie Terry Holland for ACC victories for 10th all-time. Assistant with Coach Holland at Virginia. Tony Bennett just became the all-time leader in wins at Virginia. Out of the corner, Thomas with 3.
Pretty good from there. Hasn't taken a ton of threes on the year. 7 of 13 coming in.
It's a good percentage, though, Mike. 54%.
Hey, why not take that out for a spin a little more often?
Little test drive. Wong in a congested area over the front rim with the touch and 7 points.
I'll tell you what, Miami's been making some very difficult shots here in the first half. O'Meara had one early.
Smith doesn't get the soft bounce. O'Meara tried to save it and did to Joseph. We're tied at 17. A spinning Walker. Off the glass and good.
And you know what? A nice recognition that time. He had the switch. He had Smith on him, and rather than bail him out with a jump shot, went right at him, and Smith let him go.
First points for Anthony Walker, the junior from Baltimore, Maryland. Smith had it poked away. This is Walker flying in.
And that was on the double team, the jump on that pick and roll, and Walker with the really quick hands. He's already exceeded his average. Great points off the bench for Jim Larrañaga.
First turnover of the first half for NC State. Burns creating space and hitting.
Well, he creates his own space, and he has got a wonderfully soft touch around the basket.
DJ Burns with the bucket for NC State. Miami with the ball and Joseph. Slips down, loses the handle. On the run. Smith demanding the basketball. Burns trying to fill the lane. Other side, Ross.
And how about Ernest Ross? We've got a couple of guys off the bench who are being really productive. You can give Burns an assist on that one.
Sure.
A little strong on the jump shot.
He's at home. Third tie of the ball game at 21 all. Just a fantastic matchup to start the schedule on a Saturday in the ACC. Smith off the miss by Wong. Downshifts to the rim. O'Meara caught him. Ross follows.
Boy, how about Ernest Ross off the bench? Playing a big role here early. He and Greg Gann have really stepped up with the injuries that North Carolina State has.
Sixth lead change of the game. Ross has 6 points. Already well above his average per game of 2.2. Beverly misses from three-point range. Joyner ran into Walker.
Okay, there's been some contact in this game, and the referee's letting everybody play both ends.
Bill Covington Jr., Ramey Styons, Clarence Armstrong stealing the backcourt, and Beverly the reverse layup.
What Miami wants to do. They want to get out in the open floor, have their defense turn into offense as much as they can.
Tied again after the Beverly basket, his first of the afternoon. 29th all-time meeting between the teams. It is split right down the middle, 14 all. Wong got caught, and he ran into Smith. Second foul on Wong. How about the hustle here by NC State? Smith
had at both of these coaches' philosophies, and it's written in stone. You pick up your second foul, and that's just a pump fake that Wong didn't need to bite on. He's not going to block that shot, but probably seen the last of him for the first half, and that's good news for the Wolfpack. Let's see how they take advantage of that in the last 6.5 minutes.
Miami shooting 61% as a team. Wong 3 of 4 from the floor, 7 points. Does have a three-pointer to his credit as well. Isaiah Wong, Jr. from Piscataway, New Jersey, on Senior Bonner High School in Pennsylvania, appears to be staying on that Jim Larrañaga bench for the moment with the 2 personals. Leads the team in scoring, almost 17 points per game for Wong.
But we've seen, I mean, all that being said, we've seen some great bench contributions by both teams. State 11 points for the second unit, Miami with 8. And this is neither team goes really deep into their bench. They're going to have to in the first 20 minutes here.
7 different NC State players have scored in the game, and that includes Terquavion Smith at the free throw line with 7 points.
Gant's the only one who hasn't scored for the Wolfpack of the people who played.
Gant's missed on his 2 shot opportunities. Ross has been a spark for Kevin Keats off the bench in this first half. Remember, in Coral Gables in the first half, NC State built a 16-point lead at one point and led by 9 at halftime. Miami came back to win it. In fact, they only led for about 4 minutes to close that game out. And there is the 3 from Pack.
And he's, you know, with Wong out, we haven't talked about him as the other guard in this matchup, but a very capable scorer. So he's going to have to step up.
Burns on the move.
Got to try to make him go to his right hand. He's a left-handed player. Going that way, he's automatic.
Joseph was barreling down the lane and got bumped.
They're gonna call Smith on the foul. Here's the look, and I thought Yeah, it was early reaching, and I thought that Burns was going to get the foul, but Smith with that wave in, and it's a cheap foul to pick up.
Leading scorer in the game for NC State, Terquavion Smith with 8 points, 3 of 10 from the floor so far. Miami with the basketball, the traveling black uniforms. Wrestled away by Morcell. Turnover number 6 in the game for Miami. Morcell trying to do it at the offensive end, driving and scoring.
He had that look in his eye. That was going up. He had only scored 1 point to this point in the game. Very aggressive going to his left.
Back on the handoff. Bit of a follow away. Batted by Walker to Smith. Burns against 2 defenders.
A much better job forcing him right that time.
Miami still at 60% shooting in this half, Mike, but trailing by 2. Miller has not scored. Shot clock's inside of 10. A spinning Walker. Score that basket and to the free throw line.
And actually, Burns had given some room, daring him to shoot the shot, but he did a nice job forcing the action here, and there's just a big quickness advantage there for Walker. Nice finish for him. We talked about Burns, Tom. He's averaged 4 personal fouls each of the last 2 games, only 16 minutes a game, but he's been terrific and he's been very productive.
Only the 6th free throw attempt of the season for Anthony Walker, now 4 of 6.
Yeah, neither Miami or NC State do a lot of scoring from the free throw line, and that was a big advantage for Miami in the first game.
Burns got the defender in the air.
And they're going to say no shot on that.
First on Walker. Amir is back into the game, 15 in black. Joyner will trigger the inbounds for NC State with 4.5 minutes to go in our first half. So glad that you're with us. Tom Wormy, Mike Jaminski, and our outstanding ACC basketball production crew. Burns goes the other way and lays it in.
You got to think, a left-handed player on that side of the floor is going to come back to his strong hand, and when he buries you on his back, I mean, you can't even see the defender.
6 points now for Burns. Showing some nimble moves with the ball down low. Stingy D with the shot clock to 8. Joseph slipped. And he traveled. Coach Larinaga can't believe it. 7th turnover of the game. Miami.
So far this year.
Brad Brownell's team, 6-game winning streak, undefeated in conference play, and they'll be at Wake Forest, which has not lost at home for Steve Forbes this season. Kevin Keats, Jim Larinaga, Canes and Pack. 2nd time this season. A win in Coral Gables in December for Miami in the first meeting. O'Meara with a forceful rejection out of bounds.
Amir was the 2nd defender that time. He had a running start into that block. Good help side defense.
O'Meara has 4 blocks in the game. Smith, long distance.
That shot was almost an afterthought, Tom. It looked like he lost control of the ball, and he said, I'm here. Remember, we talked about him being less efficient behind the arc? Well, not in that case.
To double digits now for Smith with 11 points. Largest lead for NC State after Smith's 2nd 3 of the ball game. Burns comes up with it. Pack wants to run. This is Smith. Soft touch and it falls. 13 points.
One thing you have to do in transition is take care of whoever stopped the advance of the basketball, and nobody got to Smith. Miami, I mean, everybody's back was turned to him, so he just followed everybody followed to the front of the rim.
So Miami has taken a timeout. NC State in the midst of a 7-0 run, and they've made 6 of their last 8 shots.
Yeah, and all of this has happened with Isaiah Wong out of the game with foul trouble, so that's been a big issue for Miami here late in the first half.
7-point advantage for NC State with 2:49 to go in our first half.
Well, we'll say down in Miami, they were ahead 43-34 at the end of the first half, and then Miami really came out and lit it up offensively in the second 20 minutes.
As Smith had 19 points in the losing effort. He is our hardest star to watch so far today. I would keep watching him with 13 points and a couple of threes as well.
Well, and for him, the good thing for him is that his assist numbers are up just under 5 a game. And even more important, his assist-to-turnover ratio is better, Tom, making better decisions.
By the way, Miller has not scored today, Mike, for Miami.
And Joyner only 2 points for NC State.
Yeah. And there's Miller right there, and he got fouled. He averages 15 points per game, and now he is in the box score late in our first half.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, you look at Miami's offense, the bulk of their scoring is going to come inside the three-point line. So it's going to be important for them to at least stay close to NC State from behind the arc. But they are just so good inside. They shoot 56%, which is 17th in the nation.
So Smith leaving the game for NC State with his second personal. Wong is already on the Miami bench with 2 personals. Miller, who shoots 80% from the line, completes the old school three-point play, and it's a 4-point game.
Well, now it's time for Joyner and Morcell to maybe look to be more aggressive looking for their offense.
Look at Burns and O'Meara fighting down low, Mike. That is a titanic matchup. Morcell extends the range.
Nice job, created some space between himself and the defender, caught it in rhythm.
6 points for Morcell, second year in the NC State program, playing his 101st collegiate game, 14 in white. Hensley Joseph. Shot clock all the way down to 3. Beverly has to force up a 3. And it goes all the way around the rim, and it's spit it out.
Did a nice job just to get it up on the glass before the shot clock.
Miami now just 2 of 7 on three-pointers.
Okay, this is a good matchup defensively for Miami with Joseph on Joyner.
Joyner falls away and hits.
But he makes a tough shot. Offense beating defense.
Remember, NC State led by 9 in the first meeting between the teams. Ultimately, a Miami victory, and right now the difference is 9. And that is a backcourt violation.
Yeah, they were really casual getting the ball up, and actually it was a late call. There were 18 seconds on the shot clock, and they hadn't even gotten over half court yet.
Turnover number 9 in the first half for Jim Laranaga's team. Most wins in school history at Miami for Coach Laranaga. 9th among active coaches in career victories. What a season last year. First time in program history to the Elite 8. One step away from the Final Four, which involved 2 teams from the ACC, Duke and North Carolina. Inside of a minute and down to 7 on the shot clock. Burns preserving the possession. Tried to put it on the floor, knocked away. Joseph tries to Euro around the defender, and a foul against the pack. Joyner gets it.
Well, it all started on the other end with Burns putting the ball on the floor. Yeah, he moved his left foot, and Joseph did a nice job going laterally here, and then you see the open up, and he stuck the leg out. That was a good call.
Bensley Joseph, 65% from the free throw line. Body of work this season.
Well, with the two main guards out of the game, NC State's done a better job of weathering this than Miami. They've really missed Isaiah Wong.
After the free throw, now 3 points. Joseph on Joyner, midcourt. Burns. Shot clock at 8. He's got an open man underneath, and he found him in Gant.
They're going to double team big across, and that was a great find inside by Burns.
DJ Burns, what an assist to an open Gant. 8 seconds on the game clock. Pack had it deflected. 2 players for NC State struggling for the basketball, and will stay at this end.
Look at this, double team coming down. Weak side has to slide down to pick that guy up. Great find, and that's not an easy pass for a center.
Second assist of the game for Burns, who has 6 points, as it goes to the NC State bench for the final 4 seconds. Beverly on the inbounds.
More importantly for Burns, only 1 personal foul right now, so he's in good shape for the second half.
Some confusion over by the NC State bench, and now
the referees are over.
Yeah. Ramey Styons and Clarence Armstrong are over at the scorer's table with 4 seconds to go. I think they're checking on the time. And now Bill Covington Jr. has joined them over there. While we have a moment, let's get a message from Coyote Tractor.
In my experience, if you work the land, you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to have a little bit of optimism and a whole lot of get-go.
So right now there are 4 seconds on the game clock.
I'll tell you what, the 3 most fatigued guys in the building may be those referees right there. This has been some pace for both teams.
So they've changed it, Mike, now to 5.1. Miami's led by 5 in this half. NC State by 10 right now, largest lead. Both teams up above 50% shooting for the first half. Inside. Miller had it knocked away. Clock running down. Off the backboard and no good from Joyner, who wanted the foul. So NC State will go to the locker room with its largest lead of the game. It's a 10-point difference, and halftime is straight ahead from Raleigh, North Carolina. Wong played 13.5 minutes in that first half. We crank up the second half. Miami's in the traveling black, NC State in the white. Miller. Almost coughed it up. Poplar grabs it and misses. O'Meara over the top. Shoulders his way in, too strong. Here's Miller over the top as well.
The first 2 offensive rebounds of the game for Miami. But that's O'Meara's game. He averages 4 offensive rebounds per game.
Pack, shot clock's down to 1. Needs to shoot it. Weak side O'Meara up strong, and he gets it. And was fouled on the play.
That's his game right there. I mean, he does so many things, but and that's why I talk about get the shot up. He misses right here, but great position on the weak side. And O'Meara, you've got to block him out farther away from the basket.
First foul against Awana. 8 points for O'Meara. And he finishes off the 3-point play. NC State shot 51% of the first half to build the 10-point lead, but I guarantee Coach Keats told them about the game in December, Mike. They had a 9-point halftime lead in Coral Gables.
Well, did NC State defending much better in this game.
Wong was fouled.
You know, if you're going to get a pick and roll and you get a big guy switched on you in your guard, you just take the action right to him, force him to move his feet.
First free throw attempts of the game for Isaiah Wong. 82% from the stripe this year, leading scorer for Miami, and he's up to 8 points.
Not a lot of free throws in general by either team shot in that first half.
How about the performance we saw from Wong, Mike, back in December against visiting Cornell when the teams combined for 212 points, Wong going for 36.
Yeah, he was certainly dynamic in that game, and there was very little action for me and very little room to call. It was up and down. You carried the day.
Joyner misses. Wong on the run. They've got the numerical advantage. Back to the rim. That was Dewana coming in late, got a piece of it, and a goaltending violation.
You know, when you have a corner jump shot like that, you've got to get people to rotate back. NC State didn't have anybody, and that was an easy 2.
A 7-0 run out of the locker room for the Canes. And it's a 3-point game, early stages, second half. And they've closed it to 3. Here's our game summary, brought to you by Jeep, Wong, and Smith, Mike.
And here's the thing. I mean, they both got 2 fouls, Tom, but for Miami, you can't really hide Isaiah Wong defensively because both guards for NC State are so dynamic scoring the ball. You know, you can, if you want to, you can take a guy and put him off the ball, maybe hide him a little bit against Nigel Pack.
13 points from Smith. Leads all scorers. He's the only player in double digits.
Yeah, we got Wong is on Smith man-to-man.
Joyner with the shot clock winding down, and it pops out. And O'Meara wrestles it away from the defenders. That's now 8 rebounds for O'Meara.
And expect to see both of the rotations tightened up a little bit in the second half. And
mid-air collision on the drive by Wong. Dewana's picked up his 3rd, Mike.
Well, and that's Smith laying off the play right there. He did not want to pick up his 3rd. They've got guys behind Dewana that they can bring in, but they've got to keep number 0 on the floor.
Double digits now for Wong as DJ Burns saunters back into the game.
You know, for both of them, really, if they're guarding one another, they should both be in an attack mode on the offensive end of the floor.
So keep it at 10 points for Wong, leading scorer in the game for Miami. Burns into the line.
I mean, I just love him on the offensive end of the floor, slipping the screen that time, something they worked on yesterday in practice, and he gets on that side of the floor. He's money. He's a little bit farther out this time. He can use the glass effectively.
9 points now for Burns after the free throw.
And the thing, too, and we talked about it, that he only had the 1 foul in the first half, so he's good to go here in the second.
Trying to work off the O'Meara screen. Miller let Gant go by, and he hits the mid-range.
Again, really flying by him, and he's too far by. He couldn't recover on biting on the pump fake. You watch Miller defensively against Gant. He can wander a little bit and be a help in the lane. Watch him on the weak side.
Smith turns the corner, runs into 3 defenders, and it does not stop Terquavion Smith with 15.
Miller was there to help, but didn't bother Smith at all. Terrific finish.
6 of 13 shooting for Smith. That includes a couple of threes. Poplar and a retreat. Trying to create some space. Burns the block, and he grabbed it. short. Get the one-arm rebound. Around the perimeter. Joyner for three.
And how about Gant? I mean, this is the value that he brings to the floor. This is a guy who has 10 DNPs early in the year. Injuries, he comes in, he's playing 30 minutes a game. He gets on the offensive glass, gets an extra possession.
Wong up and under. Past a couple of pack defenders, and he's got 12.
Just a fabulous game. You know, the thing is, I talked about sometimes the sluggish started at noon. Both of these teams came out ready to play, and it's carried over.
Gant out of the corner. Gant, he's going to the free throw line. Punch, counter punch. Kings and Pack. First it's Burns defensively on Poplar. And look at the unselfish basketball. Joyner knocking down a three ball, and the answer comes from number 2 in black. Just plain nasty, Isaiah Wong, 52-44. The fans inside of PNC Arena having a heck of a time on a Saturday afternoon. We're glad that you're with us, and we want you to stay tuned for the fast break presented by your local Ford dealer. The house is bumping, Mike.
And Tom, nice answer by NC State. A little push early in the half by Miami, but DJ Burns has been the difference for the Wolfpack here in this little stretch to lengthen the lead out.
A lot of activity in the lane between these two teams, Mike. A combined 54 points in the paint.
And so far, you know, it was interesting. Early in the first half, Miami came across and double-teamed Burns on the catch. They haven't done that yet in this half. Let's see if that changes up defensively.
12 points for Wong, 4 of 5 from the floor.
And for Gant in that last play, one, he's got a chance for a three-point play, but he picks up a foul on Omier as well.
First on Omier. Gant at the free throw line with 4 points. NC State has lost 3 in a row in the series against Miami, and that includes the matchup earlier this season in Coral Gables. So Gant, who had very limited experience at the free throw line this season, Mike, had been 2 of 2 from the line this season. Redshirt junior from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Giving the Pack the 9-point lead as we are about to cross the 15-minute threshold of the second half. Dazzling dribbling display from Wong, and then he finds Joseph for the 3 ball.
Well, and that's, again, with Bensley Joseph, you may want to, you're going to take that, want to get the ball out of Wong's hands. I thought he over-dribbled on that possession, but made something happen anyway.
Joseph's got 6. Joyner hits the jumper.
Well, we are seeing some great shot making today, Tom. I mean, the defense has been pretty solid, but guys are making really tough shots.
9 points for Jarkel Joyner, the graduate student and transfer from Ole Miss. His 132nd career game. Wong glides to the rim effortlessly. 14 points.
I don't know how he can surprise you with his quickness, but the weak side help was not there. He just exploded to the rim.
Look at those shooting percentages for these teams in this game.
Yeah, they've changed up. Now they were going to come on the catch with Miller to double team Burns inside.
Joyner offline with a 3 ball. So just a moment to catch our breath here. Frenetic pace. NC State and Miami. These teams, as Mike mentioned, have come to play on this Saturday afternoon.
A little bit more pressure up the floor by NC State in this half.
Neither team has turned it over so far. Almost 7 minutes into the half. Wong stepping back, and he hits that 3 ball.
Wow. I mean, he had the same open lane Looked like NC State overcompensated a little bit, and yeah, you got to pick something when you're guarding a guy as dynamic as that.
17 points and a couple of threes for Wong. That's now 28 threes on the season.
Yeah, it's 34%, so you got to take your chances there instead of at the rim.
He's second on the team and made threes behind Nigel Pack.
Another long three that time by Smith.
How about Kent cleaning it up?
Well, you wonder why, you know, NC State with him in the lineup.
7 points for Gant. That was deflected inside. Thomas got a piece of it.
Gant just a guy who has really accepted and embraced his role.
How about the passing? Gant throws it into the corner. Joyner flying out of that corner. Out of bounds.
They may call a foul. I think Gant is going to get the foul on the play.
Second on Gant.
Here's the look. You know, nice unselfish play. He might have taken that shot early, but then, yeah, it was close, but enough there to call the foul.
So despite that foul, Mike, Gant has 7 points. His average on the season, 1.4 coming into this afternoon per game.
But you know what? You almost have to start anew with him over the last couple of games where he started getting 30 minutes on the floor. And, you know, let's track from the Duke game, which was his first start going forward, what he is on his production.
A big win against the Blue Devils on their home floor for the Pack. Dominated it. Joseph on the drive. Bensley Joseph. And there was contact.
Well, we've had other guys step up. Now, Joseph did not score in the game down in Miami. But, you know, for Smith right there, you want to put pressure on him, make him defend, and that's 3.
So 8 points for Joseph at the free throw line. And as Mike just mentioned, Terquavion Smith just picked up his 3rd personal as the leading scorer for NC State with 15. They call him Benz, and that last move was a smooth drive to the rim. And Benz has the 3-point play. And look at that scoreboard, Mike. A 2-point game after NC State led by 10 at halftime.
Yeah, it's been, you know, NC State has tried to pull away. Miami's been resilient.
Smith was twisting on his way to the goal and got fouled. Let's take a timeout in a 2-point game between Miami and NC State.
Trouble, but he has gotten started here quickly in the second half, doing a nice job dishing the ball, so explosive, and then you take away the drive and he knocks down the 3, really scoring at all levels right now. It's going to be interesting to see who Terquavion Smith is guarding defensively to me with the 3 fouls. Again, if you're going to choose a guy, it's going to be Bensley Joseph, but he's done a nice job attacking Smith.
Joseph is up to 9 points, Mike. Terquavion Smith with the 15 points, couple of threes as well.
Maybe a zone if you're NC State to try to hide him for a little bit here, get under the 6-7 minute mark in second half.
Smith, who led the conference and made threes a season ago, now with 53 this year. And at the free throw line, 70% for the season from the line. Now he's just 1 of 3 in the game on free throws. Great chat with Coach Keats prior to the game. He said the energy defensively, Mike, has helped them to this 5 wins and 6 game stretch.
Yeah, just, you know, forcing turnovers. Getting out in the open floor, running a little bit, especially with this backcourt.
9 points for O'Meara in the game, looking for a handoff to Wong. Wong, big fake, tried to drop it off to O'Meara. Shot clock's at 2, and they cough it up.
And you got to leave your feet as a scorer, not as a passer. That was pretty good defense. And that was the first turnover of the half for Miami. They had cleaned up that part of the game.
51% from the floor as a team, NC State. Here's Burns. Back out Thomas. Fires away. O'Meara against Burns. O'Meara over the top of number 30 in white, 11 points. Norchad O'Meara.
They just spread the floor and let him go to work off the dribble against Burns, and that's advantage O'Meara in the open floor.
So O'Meara, the transfer from Arkansas State, showing off some moves.
See, look at it. Everybody spread, no help coming over. Just solid move inside.
Player of the year in the Sun Belt Conference a season ago. He's found a home in Coral Gables. One of the big contributors to the success of the Canes this season. 14-2 and 5-1 in ACC play. Marcel rattles around, and O'Meara goes up for the rebound.
He's been quiet. That was a good find by Burns.
James throwing away.
That was just a sloppy one-handed pass by Wong. You know, in this game, especially on the road, and Nigel Packman to come back in, that, you know, every possession is so important, and to have just a mental lapse like that really hurts.
So Wong comes out with 17 points. Pack is in the game. He's got 5. Also Gant coming out. Ross, who provided a spark in the first half, enters the lineup. Burns putting it on the floor against 2 defenders, poked away Walker. And O'Meara was there too, Mike.
Now the best scorers that you have from Miami are Miller and O'Meara. Miller's got the mismatch inside.
Now Miller up and under.
Nice job again attacking Smith. He doesn't want to pick up that foul. You got a small guy on you, take it right to the rim.
So Miller's basket gives Miami its first lead since it was 26-24 in the first half.
And this is with Wong out of the game, too.
Pack replaced Wong, 24 in black. They try to go inside. Ross had it blocked by O'Meara. Burns a second chance. How about a third try? Volleyballed around and kept by the Wolfpack. Smith straight away. Side rim and out of bounds.
Just 3 point-blank opportunities for State inside. Hey, this is a great find and a great defensive play. That's 5 blocks now for O'Meara.
One short of his career high. Norchad O'Meara. I'll meet you at the rim. And Marcel went down. He's clutching the right shoulder.
And he was down and he is in some pain. And O'Meara came up to set a screen and there was no communication. Watch this. He doesn't even know it's coming and he runs right into a brick wall. That's on O'Meara's guy, whoever's guarding. You got to be up and talking to your guard right then.
So Marcel in need of some medical evaluation at the end of that bench for NC State.
And that's his shooting shoulder, too.
Off the inbounds, Miller. Foul by Joyner.
Well, this is all of a sudden now that Miami's starting to make an advantage of the free throw line. NC State's left some points there with some misses.
Mike, have we seen this movie before between these two teams?
Yes.
NC State by 10 at halftime.
28-16 right now in the second half. And Miller in this game, Tom, he scored his 1,500th point in the first half. It's a big milestone for him.
NC State has missed its last 7 shot attempts.
3 of them right at the front of the rim.
Burns trying to set a screen for Joyner unsuccessfully. Shot clock inside of 10. Joyner needs some assistance. Smith trying to provide it with the pull-up. Fouled in the act of shooting.
Bensley Joseph really bailed him out. The shot clock on their back, and you just got to go up and contest that, make it a difficult shot. Don't put him at the free throw line.
Joseph, the sophomore from Arlington, Massachusetts, committing the foul to put Smith at the stripe.
Well, it's just what a huge lift for Kevin Keats to have him. Going to see Isaiah Wong on the bench, but to have Terquavion Smith come back this year has not been stellar at the free throw line so far.
17 points, Mike, but 3 of 6 in free throws for Terquavion Smith. 8.5 minutes to go in the second half. Tom Wormy, Mike Cheminsky, our outstanding ACC basketball production crew with you from Raleigh. Here's Miller on the drive against 2 defenders. Ross with the save to Joyner, who stepped on the sideline in front of the Canes bench.
Well, and, you know, Ross just wanted to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and Joyner was right on the line as the pass came. And Jim Larinaga seen enough of the game without Isaiah Wong in. Bensley Joseph coming out, but he is what you might see down the stretch, him coming in and seeing Pack and Wong with him in the game if they choose to go a little bit smaller.
Jim Larinaga hit a milestone in his coaching career earlier this season with a win against Providence, his alma mater, 700th.
And that was their career. And early on, before Georgia Tech, they had to play the next day against Maryland and got really waxed in the game again in a very emotional turnaround.
Shot clock winding down for Wong. Fouled late in the shot clock, and Smith appeared to be the closest Wolfpack player, and that's number 4 on Terquavion Smith.
Yeah, just, you know, with Wong, a terrific use of the pump fake. This is, with him back in, I mean, it's, you know, there's, maybe you put him on Pack and roll the dice there, but
maybe just a little sly smile from Isaiah Wong.
Well, the NC State, they're down asking Morcell if he's okay with his shoulder, and Terquavion Smith is waving to the bench saying, "Leave me in, I'm good." You know, it's just, they went down and checked. I don't know if Morcell is going to be able to come back in.
19 points now for Wong. He's got the heat applied to the shoulder there from Morcell, and the screen by O'Meara earlier in the half. Clean play, no foul call.
They are really driving NC State's guards out off that pick and roll action.
Canes have built a 4-point lead. Shot clock winding down for Burns. Rattled out, second chance, Ross.
Well, how many offensive rebounds has NC State had right there? Can't convert. Stepped out of bounds.
With Beverly in the corner. So we'll step aside with 7:42 to go in regulation. The Canes have taken the lead. 63-59. It's time for Protecting the Paint. It's brought to you by CPI Security.
And it's Norchad O'Meara who's been the difference. 5 block shots for him, Tom. Really active, really nice job protecting the front of the rim. And he's not a dynamic shot blocker. He came in, he had 21 blocks in 16 games. So, you know, a little over 1, you know, per contest, but he has been outstanding this afternoon.
Here is our game summary. Terquavion Smith is on the NC State bench with 4 personal fouls. Isaiah Wong, 19 points in the game. He's 5 of 6 from the free throw line. 12 points in the second half for Wong.
Well, and good news for NC State, Morcell back in. See how that shoulder is if he tests it out with a jump shot.
Shoulder bruise for Morcell, not enough to keep him out of the game. Burns inside and collaborating with Ross.
You know, that was a great decision because they had Thomas all the way in the corner, and they had one defender who was caught in between.
It's now 8 points for Ross as Thomas stumbles down and then runs into Beverly.
Gant and Ross together, 15 points for the Wolfpack. Great production.
So Gant on the season, Mike, averages 1.4 points. Ernest Ross averages 2.2.
So 15 instead of 3 per average.
That was the first foul on Thomas to put Beverly at the free throw line. First attempt from the line today.
Well,
in the bonus.
And there's the two guys who are out now. They do expect them back at some point in time, but Mahorchich and Clark, you see the numbers there, 17 points, 14 rebounds between them. That's a ton of production, plus older guys that they're missing, and two guys in the portal that Kevin Keats was really relying on.
And Clark has a core muscle injury. That was against Clemson on December 30th. And Mahorchich, a right kneecap injury against Coppin State. He's missed the last 6 and now 7 games. Thomas, the kick out. Joyner. Wong up for the board. And he took it away from Burns.
Nice job, and not a bad rebounder from the guard position. But that was just really strong, averaging 4.5 a game.
He's got 4 this afternoon. He's got the ball.
And he's got a switch.
Lost the handle.
Nice job, Morcell sticking a hand in. He wanted to go too. He had Ross switched off on him.
Six seconds on the shot clock for Miami.
This is, you know, Kevin Keats is just sitting over there right now. How long do I keep Terquavion Smith out of the ball game with those fouls?
Turnaround. Burns takes it in.
And even as good as shot making as he's made, if you're Burns, that's the shot that you would prefer O'Meara to take.
7 boards for Burns. And now exactly 6 minutes to go in regulation. Burns and O'Meara.
No double team coming, late double team.
Ross down the lane. Burns shot will not count.
Now here's the change that Miami now, they're coming on the dribble with Burns. They came on the catch early, but the guys can be active as Ross. That's where the double team is coming from. He's going to make himself available, and he's been productive.
3rd foul on Norchad O'Meara. Ross at the free throw line. In the bonus, 0 for 1 so far today. Smith remains on that NC State bench.
And it's looking right, you know, as long as they stay close enough, you know, 2-3 points, I think they can weather this a little bit. I imagine Kevin Keats would like to get under the 4-minute mark and then take his chances. Empty possession on that.
Ross is only a 53% free throw shooter on the season.
Well, that's what you'd rather than give him the dunk inside, if you've got the fouls, to put him at the free throw line.
Timeout on the court taken by Miami, number 16 in the country. NC State on the very edge of the top 25 rankings. Look at the standings to the ACC, and the Clemson Tigers are the story so far, Mike. 6-0, first time in ACC play in their history in the conference.
Well, and you look at it, and they're starting to get a little separation. NC State trying to stay in touch with that pack at the top. You see a bunch of 5 teams at 4-2. The bottom 4 in the league are really struggling, and bottom 5 really, but then after that, everybody above 500.
Virginia Tech was at the Dome on Wednesday and lost to the Orange, and tonight the Tigers host Duke inside Little John Coliseum.
Virginia Tech withering some injuries up to this point. And you know, it's good to see, because there was a seismic change with Mike Krzyzewski retiring and Roy Williams retiring. 2 Hall of Famers right there.
And all Hubert Davis did was
go to the final. Go
in
to
the
the
first
final.
year. Wong couldn't get it up on the rim, and here comes NC State. Morcell back in the game, launching a three. O'Meara outleaps everybody for the rebound.
Well, the good news with Morcell is the shot looked okay with that shoulder. Didn't have to make. Pack dribbled himself into a turnover.
With that last rebound, Norchad O'Meara, his 43rd double-double of his career, and 8th this season. Crunch time, baby. Inside of 5 minutes to go, G-Man.
And Tom, just to show you how important he is on the glass, he's got a third of the rebounds in this game.
Burns spins it in.
Well, you give him multiple dribbles, and he's going to get you in a bad way.
Smith still on the NC State bench. 11 points for Burns. Miami by 1. Pack. Hopper over the top of Thomas for the foul against Miami. That is second.
Here's the look, and Miami's trying to give him different looks, coming with the double team, this time letting O'Meara play him one-on-one. I think for O'Meara right now, although the thing is, he's got 3 personal fouls, so he can't be overly physical guarding him man up.
First attempts for Thomas. Yes, it will be attempts in the bonus. Even with that make, Mike, 7 of 14 from the line for NC State. Couple of big free throws, Thomas. That's after they went 20 of 25 from the line Saturday at Virginia Tech for the win. And with that free throw, our 10th lead change. O'Meara at the other end. Changes it up again.
Against pressure, too, and that's the thing. He can handle the ball well enough. He just saw a lot of open floor between himself and the basket.
Working on that 43rd career double-double, Norchad O'Meara. And the lead swings back to Miami.
And they got Wong on Morcell, try to hide him a little bit.
Blocked away, Pack. He recovered defensively against Thomas, and a foul is called. A foul on NC State. Terquavion Smith still on that Pack bench for the moment for NC State.
Well, and they need him desperately, Tom, in the second half. NC State 8 of 26 from the field, 1 of 10 from 3.
So Smith was out for about 4.5 minutes, Mike, since the 8:20 mark. He's back in there with the 4 personal fouls and 17 points.
Yeah, the big thing is I'm curious to see who he's guarding out on the floor. Now, Miami's countered and gone a little bit smaller with the 3-guard lineup with Joseph in there with Wong and Nigel Pack.
12 of 16 as a team from the free throw line, Miami. Wong gets another. 20 points for Isaiah Wong. And now 21 for Wong to lead all scorers. He and O'Meara in double digits. Smith and Burns double-figure scoring for NC State. For Burns, 10th time this season he's got to double digits.
Well, good matchup for defensively. They got Bensley Joseph on Terquavion Smith.
A little beyond the range of Burns. Trying to gain some territory. Spinning in the lane, DJ Burns.
Again, they're choosing to let him go one-on-one with O'Meara inside. Good patience by him.
13 points, Burns. Little backdoor action to Wong. Miller found him.
Well, great play. They had everybody lifted above the free throw line and a set play coming out of the timeout.
23rd time in Wong's career. 20 points or more. He's up to 23. Burns power dribble. And to kick it out, Morcell. Fighting the weak side, Ross.
Well, with Miami going a little bit smaller, NC State taking advantage with Ross on the offensive glass.
10 points for Ross. Everybody up inside of PNC Arena.
Offensive foul on O'Meara. Never got set on the screen.
And the fourth on O'Meara. The Pack with a chance to take the lead. After building a 10-point halftime lead, they saw it dissolve in the early stages of the second half. And now we're closing in on 2 minutes to go in regulation. Burns against Miller, dropped it low, it's Ross! NC State in front by 1. A season and career high 12 points for Ross.
And it's been Burns finding his guys on the weak side. Oh, no, it was... Oh, they called a timeout. I thought Smith might have caught a foul there, but a timeout before then.
Timeout taken by Kevin Keats at NC State. Mike, how about 12 lead changes in our game? The last one thanks to Ernest Ross.
Well, look at the big man finding people. He's a little bit farther out from his where he likes to operate, but the power forwards for NC State have been very active. How about Burns with 5 assists in the game?
Number 30 has done it on many different levels.
How about Burns, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists.
DJ Burns, graduate student from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Other side of the court, Isaiah Wong leads everybody with 23.
It's not surprising that he's productive when he's on the floor. I mean, he's shown that. It's just foul issues have, kept him off.
Burns tied his career high with 18 points in the big win against Duke on this floor. He's been a factor today.
With 16 points against this team down in Miami.
28 minutes of action for Burns. Wong has the basketball. A minute and a half to go. It's a 1-point NC State lead. Down low, O'Meara almost lost the handle. Recovers to Bentley Joseph. Shot clock's at 2. Joseph must shoot.
No. They're going to call it out. He did not get it off in time. Got to have shot clock awareness at this point in the game. Yeah, it was not even close getting out of his hand.
15th turnover of the game for Miami is a crucial one.
I think they're just looking to see if the game clock should be reset at all.
Inside of 2 minutes, the officials can check. Bill Covington Jr., Clarence Armstrong over at the scorer's table. That sign is correct. Burns, number 30 in white. 6'9", 275.
It's one, they should add 2 seconds back to the game clock. Three seconds.
118.
But just a great defensive possession for NC State that time.
Timeout taken by NC State. Each team with 1 remaining. The arrow right now favors the Wolfpack as well. 1:12 on the game clock.
Well, if you're looking at the foul situation, in the next North Carolina State foul, Miami's going to be shooting 2. They'll be in the double bonus. Miami 18 fouls.
Don't forget tomorrow 1 Eastern, we've got ACC women's basketball action. Florida State taking on Louisville. Brooke Wyckoff, Jeff Walls, the head coaches going head-to-head. Tanaya Latson, the superstar freshman guard for Florida State. Haley Van Lith, star player for Louisville. That's 1 Eastern. Check your local listings. Game and time in your area. In Tallahassee, ACC women's basketball. And Tanaya Latson, they vote on a Rookie of the Week every week in the ACC. And if you look at the list, it's the same name every week. And she's been Player of the Week several times as well. And so you'll want to watch her game. She leads the league in scoring. In fact, Haley Van Lith is second in the ACC in scoring. So they'll go head-to-head.
Yeah,
we'll have it for you tomorrow.
6 30-point games.
Not bad.
Very, very impressive.
Here we've got 1:12 to go. Isaiah Wong has 23 points. That leads all scorers. NC State has a 1-point lead. Terquavion Smith has 17. Ross and Burns are also in double digits. Coming off of that NC State bench. Mike, how about this matchup between these two teams this afternoon? Incredible.
As advertised. And this is with both of the main guys battling through a little foul trouble, having to be out of the game. Wong in the first half, Terquavion Smith in the second half, but both in there right now.
About 30 bench points for the Pack with a 1-point lead. Closing in on a minute to play. Shot clock is at 10. Joyner. Beverly tried to recover, got a piece of the basketball. Also a piece of Joyner.
Yeah, just a bailout foul that time. You know, it always surprises me when guards try to block shots like this. Just get a hand up. And it was the follow-through that got just barely clipped his arm, but certainly a foul.
Joyner is 78% for the season. However, making his first trip to the free throw line with 55.5 seconds to go in this one.
Offensive defense for NC State going down the stretch.
23 points for Wong to put it in play. 6th time in the last 8 games. He's gone for 20 or more. The difference is 3.
Don't need the 3 right here. Maybe get something going to the rim. Try to get the old-fashioned 3-point play.
Deflected out of bounds.
Nice defense by Smith. Great active hands. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. 13 seconds.
Everyone standing inside of PNC Arena. Pack 9-1 this season on their home floor, trying to avenge the loss earlier this year in Coral Gables against Miami. Shot clock down to 10 for Wong. Miller got it back. 5 seconds on the clock for 3 in the tie. Jordan Miller tied at 73.
They were trying to go inside to O'Meara, and what a huge bailout shot for Miller. NC State going to take a timeout with 18 seconds left in a tie game. Wow.
First 3-point attempt of the game for Miller.
Look, they're daring him to take this shot, a late challenge, but that was just cold-blooded.
His 18th made 3 of the season has tied us at 73. Mike, there's about 4 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, right now, if you're NC State, a couple of things. You want to make sure that you're getting the last attempts of the half. but giving yourself enough chance for an offensive rebound or a couple tips. Now remember, early in this half, they've had issues finishing around the rim on those second chances.
With 18.2 on the clock, the shot clock is off. 8 ties, 12 lead changes. Here we are, 73 all.
Well, for Miami, I mean, I'm making somebody other than Terquavion Smith beat me. You know, if he's got the ball in his hands, I'm jumping him and getting the ball out, seeing if somebody else can step up.
17 points for Smith, 12 for Ross, 11 for Joyner, 13 for Burns, who is back on the floor for NC State.
And remember Omier with those 5 block shots as well.
One short of his career high in that category.
Bensley Joseph is going to be on Smith.
Joyner, 15 seconds to go. And now 10 seconds.
Gotta go.
Joyner, Beverly on him. Needs to shoot it. Joyner throws it up. Overtime. Joyner had the last chance, but how about Miami defensively on that possession?
Yeah, and that was not a good last possession for NC State. I mean, you've got to get a better shot than that. Something going to the rim. They waited way too long to get into the play.
Leading scorers today, Wong with 23. Smith still has the 4 personal fouls, 17.
Well, we got Terquavion Smith with 4, and you've got Omier with 4 personal fouls.
So Miami has 3 double-digit scorers. NC State has 4. Miami in this game, by the way, Mike, 59% from the floor as a team. We're in overtime in Raleigh. So glad that you're with us. Wormy, Jaminsky, and the outstanding production crew. Wong with the basketball. Miller trying to catch a tough pass from Pack.
Well, let's not forget, there's been a lot of heroes in this game, but Jordan Miller knocked down that 3 with the shot clock on his back to tie this game up.
That was his only 3 attempt of the game. It's about 3 or 4 seconds on the shot clock, and he had to launch it. And Kevin Keats had to watch it hit the bottom of the net. Fourteen of 19 as a team, Miami from the line.
And Miller at 80% from the line, misses on the first one.
13 points for Miller.
That's interesting. They've still got Omier on Burns. See if they give him some touches, try to pick up that 5th foul.
Morcell cut off by the defending of Pack with the shot clock at 14.
Omier fighting around in front to keep the ball out of his hands.
Smith creating space and hitting the jumper, and he was fouled. Joseph on the challenge, picking up the foul.
Well, again, aside from the foul, I mean, really good, solid defense, but just a tough conversion.
Points or more for Smith in 4 games in a row. And the 7th time this season he's gotten a 20 or more, Mike.
And for Wong, 6 out of the last 8. They've come as advertised.
Pack for the lead. 3-pointer, Nigel Pack.
I didn't see that coming. He didn't even hesitate to rise up. Now they went underneath the screen.
Second 3 for Pack, who's got 32 on the season. Best for Miami. 15th lead change. Burns got it back. Morcell at the rim.
They got caught in between that time. And Morcell's guy, they were both over on Burns, and that left him wide open. Boy, number 30's done that. He's had some great passes.
78-77. NC State tipped away and out of bounds by the hustle of Ross. Ross with a career and season high 12 points.
How about Burns? 13, 8, and 6.
Joseph. Shoulder down. Basketball in. And the lead back to Miami. 11 points. Bensley Joseph, 79-78.
Joseph aggressive. He was trying to pick up that 5th foul on Smith.
Smith for 3. Angular rebound to Wong. Smith now 2 of 8 on 3-pointers in the game, Mike. 5 of 18 as a team from beyond the arc for NC State.
Well, the thing, too, with that foul, that 4th foul, he's got to be careful on offense and any kind of drives in the lane.
Shot clock at 8 for Wong. Hesitation. Ran into Burns and Morcell, and a foul is called.
DJ Burns is going to pick up the foul.
Miami 5 and 8 away from Coral Gables. NC State is 9 and 1 at home. Wong is at the free throw line. 2:14 in OT. (15 of 20 as a team from the stripe. Wong, 25 points.
Tom, they're 75% as a team, and that's top 20 in the country. One of the best free throw shooting teams.
Burns. Ross. Ross hits it. 14 points for Ross. 1-point game.
Another terrific find. Oh, and Elmire did well to avoid the foul that time.
Packed way behind the line. Smith with the board and a chance to take the lead for the Wolfpack. Smith with the run. Morcell from the corner. Ross on the weak side. Out of bounds. Wolfpack basketball. They're gonna take a look at it.
Boy, how about 4 dark jerseys around Raw? He is just having a terrific game.
Ross was pointing at Joseph. Play along that baseline. Ramey Styons and Bill Covington Jr. at the monitor.
See if we can. It doesn't look. Right, if that left hand maybe at the last second. Let's see if the ball doesn't really change. I think it's going to be Miami's ball.
So again, you must have indisputable video evidence to overturn the call, Mike, which was packed ball.
But it's that close. I mean, yeah, I think he does get his hand out of the way.
Miami has a 1-point lead after trailing by 10 at halftime. We're in overtime for the first time for both of these teams this season. Checking the replay to see who has possession of the basketball. Here we are in overtime. Terquavion Smith, 20 points. Mikey leads the pack.
Yeah, well, I mean, both teams really shot the ball well in the first half, but it was these two guys. Terquavion Smith and Isaiah Wong, and then P.J. Burns having an outstanding afternoon.
Miller with the 3 to tie us to send it to OT, 73 all. 18 points in the second half for Isaiah Wong. So one official right now, Clarence Armstrong, is talking to Mike Jaminski, and Bill Covington Jr. and Rainey Styons are at the monitor. I mean, it is so close. Bensley Joseph's left hand.
On that replay, Tom, it's kind of blurry.
That's right. So Clarence Armstrong is over here at the table. So it is NC State basketball.
Ever so close, but they spent a long. I mean, they spent a long time looking at that.
Really, really close, but the Pack with the basketball. Smith catching fire. He hit the deck. O'Meara and Wong both had it for a second.
NC State ball, looks like.
Pack keeps control. Smith, too strong. O'Meara the rebound. 1:20 to go on the game clock.
Yeah, I like the aggression, though. I mean, he, tried to draw the foul. NC State a bunch of opportunities.
O'Meara lost the handle for a moment. Shovels it to Pack. Shot clock's at 6. And the final minute of OT. Pack trying to get free. Miller got the shot away. Burns pulls it down. Pack with a chance to take the lead. Joyner rattles out. Ross on the offensive glass. 82-81. Miami wants a timeout.
Ernest Ross.
Ernest Ross.
Well, he's just been able to make himself available for passes and just working on the offensive glass.
Average 2.2.
He had 37 points on the year coming into this game.
When it's your chance, when it's your time, rise to the occasion.
We talked about Greg Grant and what he's done with his chance. He's in the starting lineup, but it has been Ernest Ross for the Wolfpack this afternoon.
Ernest Ross overcoming an ankle injury from a season ago where he played in 14 games. He's seen action in every game this season, but none more significant than this afternoon against Miami.
All right, 30.6 on the game clock, 27 on the shot clock.
16 points. Ironically, this is the 29th meeting between the teams. They have split the previous 28, 14 wins apiece. And here we are in OT.
Boy, you know, they've wandered a little bit off of that position, thinking, you know, they could help out in other areas, but both Gant and especially Ross have made Miami pay. Now let's look in this last possession, Tom. I mean, you know, you got Wong is the obvious guy. Miller may be the choice. He may be the guy that's open in this situation.
Each team has one timeout remaining. Miller is the reason we're here. Making that three late for Miami to tie it at 73 on his first and only three-point attempt of regulation. So about a 2.5-second difference, game and shot. 30.6 to go in OT. NC State by 1.
Kick. They've got quicker defenders out on the floor. Burns not in the game for defensive purposes.
Joseph will be on the inbounds for Miami. Ross on Wong.
If you trust your defense, you go right away.
Joseph, 5 feet behind the line for three. Ross gets the rebound. And a foul on the play. 9th rebound of the game for Ross, and it's enormous.
All right, here we go. 0 of 3 from the free throw line. Double bonus, and this was a tough shot. Well, now you're looking at, you know, depending, you know, if it's a two or if he makes them both, do you foul in this situation?
Still a 1-point game. It's the only thing he hasn't done well, Mike. He's 0 for 4 from the line.
Yeah, if he makes this, you know, what I like to do on the road, go for the win, take the 3.
He makes the second.
Let's see what Miami does. There's plenty of time for a run, and there's plenty of time to get into your shot here. 12.3 on the clock.
So the Ross free throw gives Miami the NC State the 83-81 lead. Miami has the ball, just called its last timeout with 12.3 seconds to go. Jordan Miller hit a 3 late in the game, late in the shot clock to tie us at 73 to get us to overtime. Jim Larinaga trying to design something, Mike, to tie or win.
Yeah, I mean, either way. But, you know, the thing is, the only guy that's in foul trouble for Miami is O'Meara with the 4. So, you know, if you're Jim Larinaga, do you decide, all right, we're going to try to tie and extend? Do you try to get something going to the rim and get a foul and an and 1?
Isaiah Wong, 25 points. 6 of 15 on threes for Miami if they decide to go for the win.
And Nigel Pack has got 2 made threes in the game as well.
Got to go the length of the court.
They're going to have Morcell. They're going to try to keep the ball out of Isaiah Wong's hands.
Pack on the inbounds. Miami's out of timeouts. Final 10 seconds. Wong. Down by 2. Tried to spin. Lost the handle. Ball's on the floor. Held ball. The arrow favors NC State. There's only .2 on the clock. Miami never got the shot away.
Well, and they can't, Miami cannot catch, they can't even steal and shoot here.
Miami would essentially have to deflect the inbound pass into the basket to tie the game.
Wow, this is just really solid defense, and we've seen a couple of possessions at the end of the game, and this is again. And how about Ernest Ross cutting off the driving lane for Isaiah Wong?
Smith, who played the entire overtime with the 4 personal fouls, leading scorer with 20 points, and Wong just could not find any daylight. Look at that, 3 and 4 players trying to get a piece of it.
Yeah, they're looking at the clock to see if there's an extra 10th on it.
And that's an enormous 10th.
Yeah.
Because with .3, you can catch and shoot. You must have .3 seconds. Right now it's .2. So that would require a deflection by Miami off the inbounds pass. Even so, Mike, they would still, I don't know if it's even conceivably possible.
Yeah, no, they're leaving .2 on, so.
If there was .3, to intercept, catch, shoot, it's almost impossible.
You can't catch with that, you got a tip.
Right. Joyner to put it in play.
Just throw it long.
And look who catches it. Ernest Ross. The Pack wins it. 83